What's going on, everybody? Captain Gonzo with that Flight Sam channel, and we are back for some more VR content here with the Pimax Crystal Super yet again. You guys know we've been using and abusing this unit here on loan from Pimax. They've been gracious enough to send it to us, and we have it for a little bit longer. So here's what we're going to do today. Okay, this is going to be something different that we haven't done with the Pimax, and it's to try to do some real-world procedures aboard the Cessna 172 here. For those of you that may not know, I am a private pilot, although I haven't flown now in several months, so I'm going to be a little bit rusty. But I'm going to try to do some traffic pattern work here, just purely VFR, no AI traffic injection, no ATC chatter. It's just going to be you and I, this lovely Cessna 172, and we're here at Key West, and we're going to see if we can replicate real-world stuff that we do aboard the Cessna 172s, and even the stuff that I do on Piper PA-28s and stuff like that I've flown. So that's going to be the purpose of this video. And again, we're still testing the Pimax Crystal Super throughout every different scenario that we can come up with, and it's all to really see what this thing can do. We are in a Sim Update 4 beta yet again. I have experienced better performance overall in the sim under the Pimax Crystal Super using Tally Mouse's setup guide, which again, I will continue to link in the description because it is a true help, okay? And yeah, so with those settings, with the Pimax Crystal Super, Sim Update 4 really seems to be working the best, okay? So let's go ahead and finish off this really quick. This walk around, checking my elevators. Rudder looks good, looks intact. Paint looks a little used up, but that's fine. All right, let's go ahead and open that pilot door. Let's get inside. Yeah, and so this is what I love, right? When you've flown these planes in real life, you can really compare the scale and the sensation, right? So here we go. So let's go ahead and hide the yoke for a second. Nope, I don't want my avionics master on. Let's turn that off. Sorry about that, by the way. I have my keyboard here on top of my Honeycomb Alpha, and I lose my sensation here of where it's at. Okay, so let's get the battery master on. Let's get flaps down, which typically I'll do this as soon as I walk to the aircraft. I will open the door, turn on the battery, get all my lights on, and then do a quick inspection on the exterior to make sure everything is working. Yep, strobes is blinking, nav light is on, landing and taxi light are on. Everything looks good. Don't see anything out of the ordinary. Yep, strobe's good, nav light's good. I see the beacon just ever so slightly. Let's go back in there. We're gonna shut off all the lights except the beacon. Keep it on. Let's get the fuel pump on. Let's get the fuel selector to both. Fuel shut off should be pushed in. Mixture full rich. Let's see if we get a little bit of fuel flow. No, not showing. Okay, I think it moved a little bit there. All right, fuel pump is off. We're gonna leave the mixture, bring it back just a cutoff. We're gonna open the throttle there, maybe about a 1/4 inch or so. Let's go ahead and look left, clear right, clear prop. Here we go. All right, good engine start, mixture's full rich. Let's use the throttle. Let's get ourselves up to 1,000 RPM. Okay, now let's get our avionics master on. Nav light can come on. And let's get the taxi light on here. Altimeter's, I defaulted the weather here to just nice and clear, or not clear, but some clouds around the area. I don't have the METAR, I just set the weather conditions. Winds are out of the west, so we'll be taking off and using runway 27 again for some VFR traffic pattern work. So it looks like we got a good aircraft. Just waiting for my Garmin stack here to come online. We're gonna set the transponder here to on. We're squawking VFR 1200, that is fine. Enter. Scroll. Yeah, why not? That's fine. We can bring flaps up, don't need them. Let's go ahead and release the parking brake, so let me hide the yoke. get on the power. Let's steer clear of that GPU there. Move the mouse, it's highlighting that right there. Okay. And we're going to taxi to runway 27. Feels kind of dead, right? Having an empty airfield here at Key West. No airline, no GA traffic. But I just figured, because I'm not going to be communicating with tower, I wanted to keep the airport clear, so that I'm not trying to do a touch and go or some landings and having to land on top of aircraft. All right, that kind of ruins the immersion overall. But yeah, guys, this will be pretty awesome. Again, I can't speak about how clear everything looks inside the sim here underneath the Pimax Crystal Super. And actually, as we're taxiing, I'm going to go ahead and plug in a quick campaign that they've got going on right now, because as you can imagine, their Black Friday sales are happening right now. So more on that right now.
The Pimax Black Friday sale for 2025 is going hot. Guys, you can save $70 off a Pimax Crystal Lite or get free shipping with the purchase of the Crystal Super. You can also use our very own code, ThatFlightSim, for an extra 3% off. That's right, guys. You can add an additional 3% off on top of this great sale for the Crystal Lite and the Crystal Super. Now, the way it works is you got to use the code BF2025 Black Friday 2025, and you can receive either of these gifts. That is a free 12-month iRacing membership, a free $15 iRacing gift card, free 80 coins in the Microsoft Flight Sim Simverse coins, or lastly, get $120 off with a coupon on the UDCAP gloves. Guys, again, Black Friday for Pimax 2025. Don't forget to use our very own ThatFlightSim code for an extra 3% off. And now, let's get back to the video.
All right, and we're coming up here on the runway hold short line, but we're going to pull up to this run-up area here. I think that's what this is. Let's turn around. We're kind of in the middle of the taxiway, so not the greatest. Okay, and we're going to do a quick run-up check here. So parking brake is on, mixture full rich. Let's get our throttle. Let's get up to about 1700 RPM. There's 17. Left mag. About 100 RPM drop. Back to both. Right mag. Yeah, about the same. About 100. So that's good. Differential between the left and right is good. Back to both. We're going to scan the engine instruments. So vac gauge is good. Amps good. Oil pressure in the green. Oil temperature still a little bit cold. Fuel quantity, we've got decent gas, not the greatest. This should make it, yeah, this should help us make it through the flight we're doing today. Fuel flow showing good. EGT still a little bit cold. That's fine. The aircraft will come alive here as we continue to do this. Now we're going to check idle. Make sure that engine doesn't quit on us. All right, good. Let's go back to 1000. Flight controls checked, so again the mouse highlighting the yoke. Forward elevator, aft, left aileron, right aileron, checking the rudder. Everything checks out. See where my trim is at. There we go, we're set for the takeoff position. Let's go ahead and release the parking brake. If I can click it. There we go. All right, and we're just gonna get the runway here, get airborne, and then we'll do, let's do some right traffic pattern work first. We'll probably come in and do a touch and go. I lost my mouse, where is it? There we go. Come on, let me close that window. Okay, there we go. Let's take the runway. Let's look for elapsed time. Start the clock. Lights coming on. Transponder can go to altitude reporting mode. Mixture is full rich. Get comfortable here. Again, nobody on the traffic right now because the airport is dead. 27 on the pavement. Here we go. Introducing power. And full power. Airspeed's alive. There's 50, 55 knots, and we're going to rotate, keeping that right rudder in. Then we're going to hold this runway heading here as we are on the upwind leg of our traffic pattern. And again, we're going to do right-hand turns, so right traffic pattern, runway 27. Climbing there about 85 knots. .500 feet on the altimeter. Let's make a right-hand turn. This will be our right crosswind. No more than 30 degrees of bank here. And remember that traffic pattern altitude is typically about 1,000 feet. Okay, and let's make that right downwind turn now. Let's go heading east. We're losing altitude here. Let's come back up. There's the runway. Perfect. Let's get back up to 1,000 feet here. Let's reduce power just a bit. Once we're abeamed the numbers, we'll begin to set up ourselves for the descent and the approach. All right, we're abeamed the numbers. Here we go, reducing power. Let's get slightly nose down attitude here. We'll keep extending, give ourselves some room. We're kind of turning in. Let's go back a little bit left. Okay, let's make that right base turn now. Let's get our first notch of flaps in. All right, there's a heading of 180 roughly. I see the runway. Now let's make that right final turn now. Let's go flaps full for landing. That nose is wanting to come up as I introduce the flaps. That is normal behavior. And this is where a product like the Pimax Crystal Super really comes into play, because take it from me, right now I am not current with my 90-day currency. So as a private pilot, you're supposed to do 3 takeoffs and landings, no more than 90 days, right? Because after those 90 days, you are out of currency. So you have to go and get your currency done. And this is a good way to get back into my habits, right, of going through my flows on the aircraft that I typically fly. And so I don't have the time or the money right now to spend on flying and renting an aircraft. So this is the best I can do right now. And having the Pimax Crystal Super supplement this and kind of augment the training that I can get out of the sim is really phenomenal. So anyways, we're a little bit hot here on our approach, 65 knots. Winds were a little bit gusty, up to like 12 knots, not terrible though. So we're gonna go in here and do a touch and go. There we go, power to idle. A little bouncy. All right, let's bring flaps up. Introduce power, full power. And we're at 60, let's bring the nose up. Right rudder again. Remember that P factor, right? High angles of attack, low airspeed, high power. The aircraft is gonna wanna yaw, right? Because that propeller is spinning one way as you apply more power. So you're gonna be ready with the rudder to counteract that. And just keep an eye out on your turn slip coordinator there to the left of your heading indicator. So we'll do a left traffic pattern. We'll make this one a full stop. This is just a quick video. Just want to show you how I use the Pimax Crystal Super, again, to supplement and augment my training here at home when I am away from the cockpit. Okay, let's make a left crosswind turn here. We're going to take it back up to 1,000 feet. Somewhere about there. We're over the water. We're going to level off of 1,000. Let's make that left turn for our left downwind. Reducing power just a bit here since we're leveled off, trying to maintain 1,000 feet. Roll out here, heading east. There's the runway. Perfect. Waiting till we're abeam the numbers yet again. And we are abeam, so let's go ahead and bring that nose down. Reduce power. Let's do about 1,800 RPM. There we go. That's pretty good. Let's arrest this descent a little bit. Let's go left base now. Let's get our first notch of flaps in. You can see those winds coming out of the west. They're kicking us, right? So when you're making those turns, you're going to want to increase your bank angle to counteract because the winds are pushing you. And we're way low here, so let's get on the power. And let's go make that left final. Again, let's do 30 degrees here because of the wind coming out of the west. We overshot. No problem. Let's reduce our speed. We're still waiting to be inside the white arc there for VFE, for flaps extended in full. Let's get ourselves back on that center line. There we go. Flaps coming in. Nose is going to want to pop up. See if I can make this one smoother, since I know I'm going to just call it a full stop here. And look at that, it's been 9 minutes since we took off and we did one touch and go. We're going to do a full stop, and it's so much easier not having to contact ATC and getting sequenced with other airplanes. Although it would make it a lot more realistic, of course, but for the purpose of this video, I just want to showcase what the Pimax Crystal can do for you, because I can see everything so crystal clear right now. There we go, 60 knots, a little bit better this time. A little bouncy there. Bring back the power. Let's let the airspeed bleed off. Oh, oh. Touchdown, I sunk there a lot faster. So one thing that takes me a little bit of time getting used to when I come back to the VR is that the depth perception and the height, right? So right now, I was just flying around in 2D with my monitor and just track IR. And believe it or not, when you're sitting in here, it really changes the entire perspective, right? So, but I don't like to hide when I suck, and when I suck, you know? So I'm gonna keep it in the video. So we're gonna taxi back here to signature. Let's clean the flaps up. Strobes can come off. Landing light can come off. Let's take her back home. Lean the mixture just a bit for taxi. See if I can open the window without getting off of the taxiway here. There we go, get some air. So if you're a real life airline pilot or private pilot like myself, or you just do it as some type of hobby like I like to do it, let me know in the comments below if you guys also supplement your training by doing this, right? Going in VR and just practicing, right? Traffic pattern work, scanning your instruments, and just getting used to that perception, right? And the scale of being inside the cockpit, because I think it's truly beneficial if you're flying in real life, or you're preparing to take it to the next level and you're getting ready to do that discovery flight and you're about to start your lessons. This is going to be a phenomenal tool. And guys, I can't speak highly enough about the Pimax Crystal Super. It really is just a perfect product for this type of scenario. I like to do my airline flights. I like to do GA exploring flights, but every now and then I want to remind myself, like, hey, maybe it's a good idea to start practicing again your flows and your traffic pattern work, so that when I do go fly again, at least I've got the muscle memory, right, of hand on the yoke, one hand on the throttle, footwork with the rudder, and just knowing where to look for everything. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and shut her down. All the lights can come off. Avionics masters can come off. Let's pull back that mixture. All right, mags coming off, keys off the ignition on the glare shield. Throttle is closed. We'll leave the fuel tank selector there on both. Lastly, kill the master and the alternator. And that's it, guys. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, nothing crazy about this video here. Just wanted to showcase yet again the Pimax Crystal Super for something that I do really practice, right? And even before I had the Crystal Super that Pimax sent to us, I was actually doing this with the Crystal Light. I would hop on into other aircraft and just practice the exact same thing that you just saw, guys. All right, so let me know in the comments if you found this video cool, helpful. What do you think about this as a supplement and as a way to augment your training? And I look forward to hearing that from you guys. All right, and yeah, nothing much more to say. I love this thing. I can't get enough of the Crystal Super. Everything is running smooth. The sim looks crystal sharp, and as long as I can read my instruments and fly, and if I get myself in IMC conditions and I can still get the data that I need from my primary instruments, then that's all I need, okay? Everything else is a bonus. All right, guys, well, Captain Gonzo with that Flight Sim channel checking out. See you guys on the next one.